What's up, everybody? Zurich here. I wanted to do a video for you. I had a couple of comments that asked to see how I go about doing the jungle. One of the things I want to say before we start here is I don't do my typical build. This is actually a replay from a match I did a little bit earlier. I don't have the Ring of Protection here. I go for the Stout Shield in this one just because another comment said that I should try it out. So I'm actually giving it a little test run here. We could talk about pros and cons on that, but without further ado, I wanted to show you how we do the jungle. So I've actually got to queue this up. I'll jump ahead a little bit at certain points in time. But to start this out, one of the first things I say in the guide, really important, is that you actually stay in at this fountain area, is what I call it, until 5 seconds. Then you summon your wolves out, you let this mana re-go. If you look at the bottom here, I've got my cursor over the mana. Once that's done, you start running out now. I do want to note, I am very aware that if you run out of that point, you do regenerate a little bit of mana even after you leave. So I do know that, but you don't get any of these jungle spawns for the first 30 seconds of the match. So if you look, the timer hits 30, boom, here they are. So we're actually going to this first camp here. We're on the Radiant, so we're going to go to this first small camp here. Now, with these ghosts, these are pretty easy. Always attack the big one first. This big ghost puts a debuff on you that slows down your attack speed, so you want to take her out, and you want to take her out quickly. Now, I let the wolves die here. I didn't micro them. You know, with the Stout Shield build, I wanted to see if I was going to take some hits, but as you can see, I'm not really getting hit that hard, so it's not that big of a deal. I let them take that initial damage up front. Not the quickest way to go about doing it, but the safest way as far as your health goes, and in the end, the wolves will die, and your health is overly the most important. So, now we've got full mana. We pretty much have full health. We're going to move on to Camp 2. Now, the medium camp is right up here, and these centaurs are harder than normal. This is the other medium camp here. So I actually pulled down the trees using the Quelling Blade. As you can see, the cooldown was on. And once I got here, I summoned my first set of wolves and have them attack away. I take some hits. I let them take some hits. In this particular instance, micro that wolf away. The first one died. Let them just kind of do their thing. You know, it's not that big of a deal if they're dead. You're going to get that mana back. And also, you know, letting them take the extra hit is not the worst thing in the world. Like I said, they're only up for 55 seconds, which is enough for 1-2 camps, depending on, more or less, it's good for 2 camps, but we can't take this centaur camp, so we can't do the second medium camp. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm going to go right back over to this small camp here, and I'm going to let this guy, he'll have about 5 seconds left on him when we get there. So as you can see, I'm just letting him take some hits. You know, he's dead anyway. My mana has been regenerating at this, you know, at this time on its own. I haven't had to take a single clarity yet. Now I know I can take the hits from this camp. This is part of the reason why I'm actually interested in this Stout Shield build. It does have a little bit more survivability up front, but it does take just a little bit longer to get things going. Now, we had a flying courier when this match started, so I actually got a healing salve to take out to me, so I didn't have to make a trip back to the fountain. I haven't used any of the clarity yet. I already have enough for the next set of wolves, because when I went back to that first camp, I didn't have to use them, so that's why I had the healing salve come out. It's not something I typically recommend, but if you have a flying courier, it's definitely something to consider if you're more experienced. So now we're back to that second camp, that medium camp I was talking about earlier. Some of the wolves, as soon as I get there, let them do their thing. In this instance, I'm actually taking all the hits, because the wolves are level 2, they're doing their thing. We're at half health. Now, we have Tree and Protector on our team, so he's actually put living armor on me, and I don't have to worry about my health regeneration as much. As you can see, I took my clarity, so my mana is coming back. By the time I get over here, I let the wolves tank so that the clarity keeps on ticking. It's important to do that. If you're new to the game, getting hit when you have the clarity on will take that off. Something you don't want to do. So now that camp's down. We're just making the rotation. We're going to go right back to this small camp here. Now I'm actually going to jump ahead here, because by the time we get to this camp, it doesn't respawn. And we already know we can't take on the centaurs quite yet. We probably could at this level, but you really don't want to risk it. You don't want to take your health down that far. They do a stun when there's 3 mobs or more, so you don't want to go over there and risk it. All I did there was I just took down another tree, because trees do respawn after a few minutes, so we got rid of that. Now, these guys were pushing in the lane particularly hard, so what I wanted to do was get myself in the lane and let them know that they shouldn't be doing that. Really, I don't want them to come down to this area here and then make a dip into the jungle. I've been keeping my eye on the map the whole time. These guys up here I'm not too bothered by. I'm not going to port up here. I'm not going to help him at all. That's going to take away from what my job is. Mid's doing fine. They're fighting back and forth. They're gaining levels. They're getting what they need to get done. And really bottom here is the only thing I'm majorly concerned about. Now you see Gyrocopter just teleported back. So he's just got these 2 items. That's all he has right now. Now my money is at about 800 gold. By the time I'm done with this camp, I'll have 900, which means I'm going to have enough for Morbid Mask. And that's the biggest expense in making Vladimir's Offering. So I'm actually going to skip ahead in the video just a little bit and show you where we're at.